About 90 degrees, light wind, perfect water. Wayne, I'm figuring it must be the Masters. Let's go.
Nautiques by Correct Craft is proud to present the 37th Masters Water Ski Tournament.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again. Dan Debenham along with Wayne Grimdich, who is in the Hall of Fame and a former Masters champion. And for 37 years now, Wayne, this event has set the standard for excellence among those in the water ski world. And that is why the world's elite, 40 in all this time around, have been invited to compete here.
Well, that is just one of the reasons why this is the most coveted title in water skiing. Another reason is that all the tournament water skiers in the Hall of Fame have won a Masters title, so there's a lot of significance attached to this tournament. Now, today brings another opportunity, and it is right out there on Robin Lake. Unfortunately, there is immense pressure out there. It's guaranteed excitement, totally intense throughout the afternoon.
Great point, and of course they will be competing in the three traditional disciplines of water skiing, that is tricks, slalom, and jump, and we begin with the women's tricks.
And when you talk about the tricking competition, it usually begins and ends with the Larsen twins. We begin with Britt Larsen, then Brandi Hunt, Rhoni Barton, Judy Messer, and then Tawn Larsen will be our final competitor out on the water, but it's her twin sister Britt who is first up here on Robin Lake.
Starting the trick skiing event at the Masters is like starting off on the balance beam in gymnastics. It is a very demanding event, demanding in precision and strength, and right there she lost the handle. Got to hang on to that, keep the handle close in order to control the rotation of these tricks. Right there, she loses, and that ends her second run.
And that ends really any chance whatsoever of her winning a title here at the Masters. Her twin sister helps her out of the water, and her two-pass total is 6,010 points. A comforting hug there for Britt Larsen. This is Brandi Hunt. Many say that she is the future of this sport for the women.
The Junior Masters overall champion, she is the up-and-comer. Very strong, steady, always having a smile on her face, and I think this translates to great performances on the water. Right here, she's taking her time, letting the rope tighten up, and that initiates the turn into her next trick. Stand-up performance, and a solid one at 6,200 points.
Britt and Tawn Larsen, between the two of them, they have 6 Masters titles. The last 6 in a row, we might add.
Stand-up performance and a solid one at 6,200 points.
I think they're a little excited there, and everybody's excited about the future of this sport when you talk about the likes of Brandi Hunt and this young woman, Rhoni Barton.
Well, everybody expects them to dominate or be the most competitive in the overall race in years to come, and certainly they are the ones to beat today in a very close race. Rhoni standing up here, does a ski line maneuver there, falters a little bit, but a good opening run.
Well done. A nice job. You look like you're really pacing yourself. How different is it for you skiing here at the Masters this year versus last?
Right now, I don't think it's hit me yet. I think when I get home, I'll start spazzing off the wall and everything. Right now, I just feel like I'm still skiing against the juniors when I get out there. I'm just going to have fun. This is my time. I'm an underdog, and this is my time just to get the feel of the things, and next year we'll see.
This is Rhoni Barton out of California, now resides in Central Florida. And what a terrific trick skier she is, a terrific 3-event skier.
Masters overall champion in 1994. Feeling a little additional pressure here this year, however, having not skied well last year. Standing up here, not great clearance on some of the wake turns, but she stands up, and that's very important. And she's going to finish with 6,280 points, which will keep her in the hunt for the overall race.
From one of the younger competitors out on the water to one of our crafty veterans, this is Judy Messer out of Canada.
And she is just that, having won an overall title back in 1981 at a young age. Continued on to win a couple of trick titles here, and she is the reigning world overall champion. A very talented, focused, and intelligent skier. Lands a flip, and that's a solid run for her.
And while Judy regroups and gets ready for her second run, we have an opportunity to visit with Britt Larsen.
Callaway Garden.
You lost the handle. Something very basic, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah, my father always said, if you're going to do anything, you fall. He said, don't ever let me see you drop the handle.
Oops.
Well, I didn't
He's
listen
not
to
here,
him.
is he?
No, he's not here. Dad, where are you?
Back to the action now. Judy Messer back in the course once again. This is her toe hold pass.
No way to drop the rope here. You've got your foot in a bear trap. Person in the boat has a release in case she does fall. Toe surface turns right here. We're going to see a toe step over coming up right there, 360-degree turn, and throwing the ski over the rope. Nicely done. She's hanging on, being patient, falls there, but completes most of her run and moves ahead of Rhoni Barton.
Revolution with a step over, and that's all done in the toe hold, 7 points.
This is Tawn Larsen, the mark to beat, 6,580 points. That's what Judy Messer was able to get. And Tawn is our final competitor.
Well, you get a quick idea just how smooth and elegant she is on a trick skiing. This, folks, is the complete package. World record holder, she stumbles right there, but has the presence of mind to wait for the line to tighten up and move on to the next trick. It's a stand-up performance, and it's going to give her 4,190 points on the first pass. A very strong run for her, even though she had a little bit of a hesitation towards the end.
And that's a great shot of Tawn working the rope, the handle, with her foot in the handle. Now she's doing it with her hands.
Just as important to keep your hand close as the skiers are trying to keep their toe leg close to their body. Right here, performing some 540-degree turns off the wake. If she gets this next trick, she will probably win the competition, given the judges think she did it correctly. And here's the flip. Not quite as big as we've seen, but boy, is she consistent. Tempo, timing, precision, strength. This is the best in the world.
And her two-pass total is 7,880 points. She not only wins the competition, but sets a new course record to boot.
Who actually ends the
Dancing across the water with ease and another victory. Nice job.
Thank you. It felt great out there. I got a little nervous on my wake 7, but I pulled it out and just went for it.
You know, with course record, huh?
Finally, I win again. You win again? You had 3, I had 3. I couldn't let you have 4. We got to keep it in the family.
And so the streak continues for the Larsen twins when we come back. Aymeric Benet and the men are up next.
At Correct Craft, the customer commands a lot of respect. That customer needs facts, not hype. We prove every day that a really good product will sell itself, but only if the customer has all the information. We'll show you what we've got and help you compare, and let you make the decision. Because once you get behind the wheel of a Nautique, the selling stops and the performance starts.
Nautiques by Correct Craft, the definition of quality. Call 1-800-346-2092.
As it is every year, Pine Mountain, Georgia is the host site for the Masters, and this is the 37th Masters. We're ready for the men's tricking competition. Earlier, we had a good look at Steffen Wild, the massive German who is in the hunt for the overall race.
He submitted a run of 6,410 points. That'll keep him in the hunt, principally against Jaret Llewellyn, who we'll see coming up a little bit further. Very strong, massive body, performs a couple of flips there to end his run, and he'll move on to the slalom event.
Steffen is the Schwarzenegger of his sport. He is one strong young man. Here's Aymeric Benet from Africa, the two-time world trick champion, trying to add the Masters title to his pretty impressive shelf.
As you may have noticed, the men have now kicked it up into the fast-forward mode. These guys really can get some air, and some of them perform as many as 6 flips. A flip with a half twist right there, and a sensational score. 10,330 points is a great early round score to put some pressure on the rest of the field.
And you know, the more that you look at this tricking competition, the more it begins to look like wakeboarding in a way. This is Nicolas LeForestier out of France.
Well, funny you should mention that because Nicolas is one of the guys who has 6 flips. One right over the top. Now he's going to roll to the one side and then the opposite direction. They do get credit for that. And then one with a half twist and then in the opposite direction with a half twist. And then one back flip from the back, kind of fakie to fakie position. So fast, hard to call. But boy, didn't he make it look very easy?
You're using that wakeboarding vernacular. Yes, the fakie to fakie position.
What's interesting is his boat speed's picked up a little bit. The wake is narrowed. He's getting off the crest. Beautiful timing. Great elevation. Gives him enough time for clearance. The judges have got to love that run. And as they well did at 65-60 on just one pass.
Boy, if he can put up another mark like that in this, the second pass, he will be our leader.
The key here is continuous rotations on the surface, right off the top of the wave or the wake of the boat. A toe 5 to the back position. Now he's going to go into some toe step overs right there, all over the rope. Very difficult. And he's moving along a little sloppy towards the end, but he stands up and he's got to be stoked. He is 11,000 points. Keep in mind the world record is 11,420 points held by Cory Pickos, yet to go.
Well, Cory Pickos and this man, Jaret Llewellyn, are both going to be hard-pressed to surpass that terrific performance put in by LeForestier. Here's Pickos now out of Wisconsin.
7 times a match, and he loses the handle on a 720. One of the tricks he's made world famous. Pickos, one of the fastest trickers in the world, goes down.
You know, you wonder if somehow the handle snapped back and hit him in the face. No, it didn't. The way that he put his hands to his face, it was almost like he was hurt. I think he was emotionally, but not physically. Here's a guy that will sometimes make you cover your head in embarrassment. Jaret Llewellyn, one of the top trick skiers in the world, a true 3-event skier, but really prides himself and considers himself to be a trick skier first and foremost.
Well, he has a fantastic build for it. He's about 5'5", 5'6", and very quick, agile. A fantastic hockey player, we might add, as he is just dancing over the water with a ski that has no rudder and doing step-over routines with his foot in the rope. A very nerve-wracking event for the competitor. Just 2 20-second passes to do all these extremely difficult tricks. And he's making it look easy. Sensational flip with a half twist. Another one in the reverse direction. Excellent. Judges give you credit for the reverses. Here's another one rolling. And then the tough one right over the top for 800 points. Excellent.
You saw a lot of the wakeboarding influence that has now become a part of trick skiing. In fact, earlier we had a chance to talk with Russell Gay about how wakeboarding influences his trick skiing routine.
Being an expert in both the trick skiing and also the wakeboarding, which is more difficult?
Trick skiing for sure. Wakeboarding is individual tricks. You have one separate hard trick, and then you rest a second, and then you got another hard trick. It's not the same rhythm and flow as tricks. Tricks is a sequence of very hard tricks put together, and the hard part of the trick skiing is putting them together quickly and doing them perfect so that each trick flows fast. Wakeboarding, you always have a little time for recovery.
Because I think that was a new course record yesterday. So Russell Gay actually.
LeForestier remains in first, but Russell Gay is certainly capable of popping off a world record performance here on Robin Lake.
And he is doing the same sequence as Nicolas LeForestier. 6 flips, the tough one right here. He needs it because he had a poor first run, and he can't quite pull out. Gave it a sensational go, but only 8,860 points puts him way back in the field.
In fact, it puts him all the way back to 4th place. But you can see Russell Gay is heavily influenced by the fact that he's one of these crossover skiers. He does a lot of wakeboarding as well, and wakeboarding is certainly part of trick skiing now, and you see that reflected in his run. Well, here's Wayne Grimdich with our winner.
Absolutely fabulous first and second pass. C'est magnifique.
I don't know, my top I just wanted to stand up. Usually I put the second step 5 in, but see the way Aymeric skied and it was the most dangerous. We just saying, I just wanted to stand up to trick about 11-2, 11-3 and think that should be it.
Well, they call these guys the true boys of summer. Wakeboarding is up next here at the Masters.
Tony, This is the third year that it's been part of the Masters, but this event keeps going off.
Oh, the wakeboarding event has become actually one of the highlights of the Masters, and today we have 3 world champions. Mike Weddington, the 1995 world champion, Scott Byerly, the 1994 world champion, and Jeremy Kovak, the 1993 world champion, as well as some newcomers, all trying to be the Masters world champion.
And they have restructured some of the scoring, and so it'll be interesting to see if possibly we might even get a world record out of this. Let's go ahead and turn our attention to the waters of Robin Lake.
And Russell starts off with the tantrum. Way outside the wake. Look at that edge into the wake as he does a frontside scarecrow. An air roll to revert almost into the jump and huge edge. Backside crib for Russell. Turns it forward back into the forward position. Got a lot of time left for the, I thought he was gonna do a Mobe right there, but that was not a Mobius. There's the Mobius. Hey, he nails the Mobius.
Here's a relative newcomer in a very new sport, Shaun Murray.
Huge tantrum with the nice grab there. Shaun waving to the crowd during the middle of his run. There was an air tandem to Bel Air and the front side roll to revert. Hoochie glide to fakie. Shaun Murray nails his first pass. Let's hear it for Shaun. Shaun starts out with the backside crib. Then into a scarecrow. Lot of time. Hoochie glide, nice grab. He just sticks that grab and tweaks it a little bit. Half cab roll way out in the flats. Tantrum and he lands it fakie. Shaun Murray nails his pass and here's his wild card. A Mobius, but he goes down. Let's hear it for Shaun Murray.
And this is Mike Weddington now, the defending world champion.
Mike carving into the wake here. Giant backside front flip to start his pass. Frontside roll for Mike Weddington. Mike using a longer line than some of the other competitors. Goes big, he gets way outside the wake. Gets a roll to revert for Mike. Frontside front flip. Here comes the Mobius. He nails it, and he nails it cleanly. Mike Weddington with the Mobius. A very clean first pass for Mike. And you have to train every day to compete at this level. And here he comes. Boom. Frontside flip to revert for Mike Weddington's opening trick. Back to front roll. Mike asking for the speed to go down just a little bit. Backside tantrum, which he grabs. Frontside roll to revert, which he grabs. And it is back to front roll from Mike Weddington. He nailed his pass. And that's an outstanding pass for Mike Weddington. Let's hear it for him.
Moments away from heading on out, which this might be considered by some one of the most prestigious wakeboarding events. What are you thinking?
It definitely is the most prestigious tournament I've ever skied in that any other wakeboarder has. I'm definitely privileged to be here. This is the one tournament I would love to win. I was out all year being injured, and I just want to let people know that I'm back and I'm skiing hard, and I hope everything turns out for the best, and all I want to do is stay my run up, and I've got a really good chance. So I wish everyone here good luck, and myself as well.
Kovak's back. It's got a nice ring to it, you know? Good luck to you, man.
Big, strong Jeremy Kovak, the biggest and sometimes the best wakeboarder out there.
Nice half cab roll for Jeremy Kovak. Front flip with the grab. Air roll to revert. Fakie to fakie roll. Jeremy setting up with plenty of time for the Mobius. And he nails it. Bo picks up speed. Frontside roll to revert for Jeremy. An air fakie roll to front, or a half cab. Giant air railie. Lot of time left for Jeremy. An air Mobius. Jeremy setting up fakie. A fakie to fakie bomb! He nails it! He nailed his entire pack!
And our final competitor out on the water today, Scott Byerly, 2 years ago the world champion. He is an up and down kind of a rider.
Starts out with the back to front roll. Nice tantrum with the grab. Scott looking like his old self out there. Switch steps, front flip. A back to front roll. Scott stalls on the wake a little bit. There goes the ball! Let's hear it for all our wakeboard competitors. Outstanding job by everybody.
23.53. Let me see. Isn't that some sort of a record, Jeremy?
I believe so. They have records from last year, which Darren held 21.5, but they lowered the point value of all the tricks. That run last year would be the same as 21.5, 21.8.
Well, you know what? Unofficially, we have it as a new world record.
You couldn't find a happier man.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, Tony, Jeremy Kovak told us before he got on the water that Kovak was back, and a world record is certainly a way to make that statement.
Kovak went absolutely huge. A Mobius on his first pass, then an air Mobius and a switch Mobius on his second pass. That's Mobi, and he went for it. And boy, oh boy, I was happy to be here to see a world record.
Mobi, you just continue to amaze me. Hey man, it's wakeboarding, so we'll take a break. Be back with more of the Masters right after this.
While certainly the skiers are the main event here at the Masters, you can get a pretty interesting behind-the-scenes look at the water sports industry. I guess you could call this boat row. This tent right here is actually the correct craft tent, but if you're interested in personal watercraft or even bathing suits, you can find it all back here. Well, as you can see, you could have a little bit of fun back here, especially if your credit card had about a $20,000 limit on it. But as much fun as we're having, this is merely the sideshow. Out there is the main event. And it is time for the women to carve up Robin Lake like a lean piece of ham. Jennifer Leachman, Toni Neville, Helena Kjellander, Susi Graham, and Kristi Overton. But first, let's take a look back at the young ladies in the hunt for the overall title. Brandi Hunt had 2 buoys at 32 off, and that's not exactly what she wanted to put the pressure on this woman, Judy Messer, who had 4 buoys at 32 off.
Well, you're right, Dan, because Judy came out of the trick skiing event with the best score amongst the overall skiers, Brandi, Judy, and Rhoni. So Judy increases her lead over Brandi, but then Rhoni came out and beat Judy by a half a buoy, and that really narrowed the race between Judy and Rhoni in the overall with just jumping left. Remember, it's a 3-event situation where slalom, tricks, and jumping determines the Masters overall champion.
Well, we have sized up the race for the overall. Jennifer Leachman is now sizing up this course as she hunts down, or tries to hunt down, a slalom title.
Never has won a title here at the Masters. Came close last year. Oh, and she runs into problems around number 2 at 35 off. That's a surprise. Usually a routine pass for her.
She finished 2nd at the Masters last year, desperately wants this title, one that she does covet. That's not going to get the job done. Toni Neville knows what she must do. She has come close before. She, too, is winless here at the Masters.
Getting progressively late, however, and just gets a gigantic turn on 4, but not enough to put her in good position around number 5, and that ends her run with 4 buoys at 35 off, a 75-foot line.
Here comes Helena Kjellander. She's won this event not once but twice.
First time in 1989 and then again in 1993, both times with big brother Mike Kjellander, who was also in the finals yet to come. Now as Helena is rounding number 5 onto number 6, that completes the course. The slalom course in water skiing is roughly 3 football fields in length. The turn buoys for the skier are not thrown out there randomly. They are positioned to the inch. In this case, 37.5 feet from the center line of the course. This is a 40-foot rope. 2.5 feet of extra rope will get around the buoys onto her onside. Left foot forward skier running a little late here, getting narrow and fast to the buoy. Makes it more difficult to turn. Can she get to 6? And she's pulling it. No! Inside of 6, 5 at 35. She needed all of them there.
The entire beach, the entire stands, everyone was pulling so hard with you to number 6, but just not quite enough, huh?
No, I think I started actually with a bad 1 ball, and then it kind of progressed, and I knew the score before me was 4, so I really want to get 5, and I think I overpulled to 5, so I got a little too much speed and just didn't get there in time.
I think you can get in so much trouble quickly out on that course.
That's for sure, but I'm really happy with the score. I'm happy to be here, happy to be in the finals, and
you look terrific.
Thank you.
The likes of Susi Graham and Kristi Overton are coming up.
At Correct Craft, the customer commands a lot of respect. That customer needs facts, not hype. We prove every day that a really good product will sell itself, but only if the customer has all the information. We'll show you what we've got and help you compare, and let you make the decision. Because once you get behind the wheel of a Nautique, the selling stops and the performance starts.
Nautiques by Correct Craft, the definition of quality. Call 1-800-346-2092.
Helena Kjellander is our leader here at the 37th Masters. This is the women's slalom competition. She has 5 buoys at 35 off. Susi Graham will now attempt to better that mark.
She is the co-world record holder along with our last competitor today and the defending champion, Kristi Overton. Susi Graham, kind of a unique style, breaks at the waist quite a bit, but she is just ferocious behind the boat. She has a grip that you cannot believe, very strong upper body. Right there, you can see her dip her head. That gets her into trouble sometimes, but she just has the uncanny knack of recovering and finding the right weight distribution on that ski.
All right, this is the pass. She needs to get anything past 5, and she will be our new leader.
Just fighting and digging, keeping the ski on edge, and she's running late and narrow here, and just not enough width to start the ski to turn before the buoy's gone by her.
5 buoys at 35 off. That ties Helena Kjellander. Susi Graham, who's been on maternity leave, a brand new mama. Proud parents of a new baby. Kristi Overton, her name is synonymous with water skiing titles. Once a terrific tricker as well, now really specializes in this event, Wayne.
Yeah, she did win the Masters trick title in 85 and 86, but since then has been moved on to specialize in the slalom, and she really does make it special for everybody out there on the shore. Powerful and technically sound.
She makes it look oh so simple, and that has to be frustrating to some of her competitors at times. All right, this is the pass, 35 off. Remember, Helena Kjellander, Susi Graham, both are in with 5 buoys at 35 off. Anything beyond that, she's our Masters champion.
Scott number 3 here, looking in terrific shape. Very strong out of 4. Cruises 5, and this is 3 in a row for Kristi Overton, dominating slalom once again in the women's event.
And you know, Wayne, she is not through yet. She's going to come back through this course looking to make her mark. She is now gunning for a new Masters record.
Look how angular she is here, completely stretched out. Horizontal to the water because the rope doesn't reach the buoy here. 4 in terrific shape. Lost a little through the wakes, down in the water. Can't get her free hand on the handle, but man, magnificent, sensational stuff.
4.5 buoys at 38 off, and that is a new course record.
38 off. Awesome skiing by Kristi Overton.
How's the proud papa right now?
Well, this is great. I mean, it's a great bunch of competitors. It's the Masters. It's the best of them all, and that says it all.
Another title and a course record. Hey, you guys agree? How'd she ski? Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks for y'all being here, man. It really means a lot.
3 in a row, her 4th overall. Kristi Overton solidifies her position as number 1.
Yeah, this has been a very strange year for me because I haven't had any tournaments. My husband and I went to Australia and skied the Mooma Masters, and I won there. But I've still really trained hard. I wanted to run it here because I've been skiing really well, and I just thank God for the opportunity to win again.
The pavilion here on Robin Lake, Callaway Gardens, one of the nation's most prestigious private parks, and Wayne Grimdich had an opportunity to talk to the new president.
About a year and a half ago, the Callaway legacy fell onto your shoulders. How are you holding up? I'm enjoying it. It's great to be back in Harris County and back at Pine Mountain, back at Callaway Gardens.
What do you see as Callaway Gardens' vision, master plan?
We are blessed to have at Callaway Gardens 14,000 acres, which is dedicated to man's relationship to nature and to a good stewardship of that land. So we have, on one end of the property, we have a wilderness area where we can offer educational tours and guided tours with our education department. We then have the horticultural area that we're in now, where we display more things that man can create with nature. What we want to do with the entire property, from the wilderness through the garden area to the recreational area, is to show how beautiful land can be when one approaches it in a thoughtful fashion.
Thanks, Wayne, and we are back to the water. After this, it's the men's slalom next.
Welcome back to the Masters competition. Dan Debenham along with Wayne Grimditch as we now get set for the men's slalom competition. Once again, a very impressive field led by the world record holder, Andy Mapple.
Andy's going to be very tough. He's won this event 8 times before. However, Wade Cox was not far behind yesterday, and keep in mind, he's the defending champion.
Well, the preliminaries yesterday was a good day for that world record holder. Andy Mapple broke the course record. I had a chance to talk with him about that afterwards. It was a very emotional conversation. It was the first time that Andy has been here at the Masters without his wife, Dina.
I think this is my 13th or 14th Masters. I can't remember 2 years feeling the same. So it's,
Your first year without Dina.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. She's sad too.
Dina unable to attend as she is at home awaiting the arrival of their second child. Here is the way that the men will attack the slalom course, but before we get to that, let's take a look back at Wayne Grimditch, the race for the overall title.
This is the man in the lead. Out of the trick skiing event, Jaret Llewellyn came into the slalom, ran 3 at 35 off, his weakest event, but a fairly solid score. But perhaps he opened the door a little bit for Steffen Wild, who was able to round 4.5 buoys at 35 off, and it'll all come down to the premier event, men's long distance jumping.
Well, Callaway Gardens giveth and it taketh away. Callaway Gardens. Chuck People gives us a first-hand look at this beautiful park.
We're here in the Case and J. Callaway Memorial Forest, which Mrs. Callaway set aside in honor of her husband, Cason, in 1972 as a registered national landmark. The forest is managed primarily as a wilderness area and is utilized through our education department to provide hikes for 4th grade school groups. She chose 4th graders because it was an age group she felt like she could instill an environmental ethic in them because they're at that impressionable age, and she wanted to take all the 4th graders from Harris County through the forest, and that was one of the goals for the forest. And it is a unique place in that it contains the entire watershed for the Barnes Creek, which we're standing beside today.
It also contains the top water skiers in the world for this weekend, as Mike Kjellander is now prepared to try to fight off injury. He dislocated his left shoulder about a week ago and try to get through this course.
Oh, and you can see right there, he got pulled out on number 1. I mean, it was going to take a Herculean effort, of which he's capable, but today the pain, I think, was too much.
Steve Cockeram has come all the way across the pond to compete on the waters of Robin Lake.
And he is at that 38 off-foot rope length, sliding around the water, kicks the fin back in. That'll end his pass. Slalom, again, is sudden death. You miss or a fall, and that completes your run right there, just trying to lay it all out. And that's how you can pop your shoulder out of the water, is by slamming down on the surface of the water.
Now, here might be the hottest skier so far this season. Roberge has done a terrific job anytime he puts on a ski.
If you combine his records in slalom and jumping this season, he is the man. Confidence is sky high, and he is the first one today to run 38 off. Powerful, putting some muscle on that boat.
Yeah, I like the way you say he is a force on the course.
You're going to see some tremendous athleticism here. Agile, quick, strong, running a little late right now. Needs to dig in and slow down. He can't, and he has to shut it down around number 3.
3 buoys at 39.5 off. That's the mark to beat. Will it hold up? Wade Cox and Andy Mapple are next. The slalom competition continues here at the 37th Masters as Wade Cox is on the water trying to catch Carl Roberge. He's our clubhouse leader, in with 3 buoys at 39.5 off. This is 35 off for Mr. Cox, truly one of the world's top slalom skiers.
Well, I think everybody would consider him the #1 guy right now on tour, and he is also the defending champion here on Robin Lake. So looking for a back-to-back victory, but more importantly, to run this pass right here. He is one of the most sure-footed guys on a water racetrack, can carve turns equally well on both sides of the course. Look at the perfect body position and weight distribution. Stand way ahead, waiting for the buoy there, snaps it in, gets back and away from the boat. You can't tell, that is just gorgeous. That was so easily done. And now he moves on to the pass of what he really wants to have. He's got to get any part of #4. Carl Roberge got 3, late turn there. He's running narrow and fast into #2 and breaks at the waist. He's going to be lucky to get outside of 3, and he barely does. But he's standing up through the gates, and the judges award him 3 buoys at 39.5 feet off, the same as Carl Roberge.
And so we have a virtual tie for first place right now, and take a look at him just holding on for dear life. And that's good enough for a tie for the lead, which means it is up to this man. Andy Mapple is the world record holder. He has won the slalom competition here at the Masters 8 times. He would love to make it 9 today.
His success has been through using controlled aggression on this course. He dictates to it, isn't tentative, and right here having a pretty good go at it, like Wade, very quick on both sides of the course. Now they're shortening the rope, a rope length that falls 2 feet inside the buoys. Mapple on edge, braking, accelerating, slow out of there. More speed around 2, and he's in deep, and he pops the handle, and that's going to do it. 1.5, a surprise fall on his good side.
And that means that we're going to have a runoff between Wade Cox and Carl Roberge, both finished up with 3 buoys at 39.5 off. First on the water, Carl Roberge.
This is going to be tough. He's been sitting for a while, maybe getting a little cold, and he's going to have to jump on it right here, handle down the water. That delays his acceleration. Again, the same problem, and that's it. 3 buoys at 38 off. Tough job coming off the dock cold at 38 off.
And I believe that's a big old grin I see on Wade Cox's face down there. As he pretty much has this title wrapped up. All he needs to do is get any part of 4 buoys, and he's won back-to-back titles here at the Masters.
Door's a little open, and I think he's just kicking the door in, and that's going to do it right there. Champion 1996, Wade Cox. Fantastic job.
A lot of hard work behind that effort. Wade Cox, the hottest slalom skier in the world today.
Well, congratulations. Here, I'll give you a hand up. I know they're all stretched out already. 2 championships in a row.
How sweet it is. This was, last one was like, I'd worked so hard and got 3 seconds here. And it was just such a big effort the whole time, But this one's sweet.
Which means that Wade Cox and Kristi Overton get to go head-to-head in honor of Joe Cash for the Joe Cash Award.
Joe Cash, one of the finest skiers ever to grace the waters of Robin Lake. 3-time slalom champion here, a fine overall skier as well as coach, and now in the Hall of Fame. To win this trophy is quite something. It's more of a fun event between the male and female skiers, but the significance of the trophy is not lost.
Kind of a battle of the sexes, if you will, and Kristi Overton has put the pressure on Wade Cox. Now he has to run this pass and get into the 3rd ball of the next pass in order to surpass Kristi Overton, and he's already in a little bit of trouble.
Behind, a little casual round 2 there, and I wasn't able to handle #3, so it looks like the women, Kristi Overton is the stronger of the 2.
Speaking of strength, it's the world's best as the women attack the ramp next. Welcome back to the Masters. We're ready for the jumping competition, the final competition of the day. Looking at the women's side of things, it's very much in the air as to who will win the overall title. It depends on who goes the farthest on that thing.
Literally in the air between or among 3 women. Judy, Rhoni, Brandi, whoever goes the farthest will probably take away the crown.
And as far as the men go, a much different story though. Jaret Llewellyn, he only needs to go 150 and he has nailed down the overall.
that's pretty much a ride over for Jaret Llewellyn. He's going to win this overall race wire to wire, but you never know. It's Robin Lake.
Sure.
This is an unpredictable type of tournament.
And this is the one competition that everybody looks forward to. Let's start the jumping action.
And we begin with a look back at that crucial race in the overall competition for the women. Judy Messer needed a big jump, and that wasn't it. A 128. And Messer hurts her chances in the overall race as Rhoni Barton now. She has an opportunity to go through that door as it's been opened up just a bit. Barton, the better jumper, and she goes 134. Her best was her second jump.
Brandi Hunt was mathematically in the race right up to the end, but she could go no further than her first leap of 131. So the overall crown went once again to Rhoni Barton.
Is this really kind of the passing of the baton now to that next generation?
Yeah, I think so. I think between both of us, Brandi and I both being on the younger side, it's just going to be experience and taking a little bit of time to get going and get into it.
Well, I don't think you should be disappointed at all. You really gave it a great go out there.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I guess all I can say is I come out and did my best.
Well, you certainly did. You know, first year here, this is a very different atmosphere. And, I mean, it came right down to the last event.
Yeah. I just went out, and I guess I tried too hard. Life goes on from here.
Sure will. We look forward to next year.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, this is now for the jumping title itself. Brenda Nichols, our first competitor. A disappointing 3 jumps for this young lady as she is only able to go 138.
Well, the 1995 World Jump Champion, I'm sure, was looking for a jump in the 140s, mid-140s, to try to win or at least put pressure on Sherry Sloan. Didn't have it, and this is the defending champion who can really muster up some speed and strength off the top. Unfortunately, she misses her height or spring, and only 137 on the first go.
Sherry Sloan was a co-holder of the world record with Dina Mapple for a number of weeks, and then it was Emma Shears that just a few weeks ago broke that record. Sherry Sloan, a much better second jump, a 142. Her form wasn't the best, but some good results there.
When you're digging and edging, trying to build speed to the ramp, sometimes your right shoulder can get pulled towards the boat. That's what happened on Sherry. She lost her spring. Toni Neville now out on the water, has never won a championship in any event here, and has been working on her jumping lately. 139, nice opening leap.
While Toni Neville has not won any championship here, she is always right in the thick of things.
And should say she's getting coaching from the world record holder in the men's competition, who just happens to be her husband.
Yeah, Bruce.
Good coaching. Here she goes, another crack, speed of the ramp, spring off the top, pulling it in. Nice leap, much stronger on her approach to the ramp. 144 on her final attempt. Outstanding. Right there, stands up just at the right moment. The ramp forces you to hesitate, and then you have to react back, and she did very well.
Toni Neville, our current leader, 144. Is this going to be her year? Emma Shears, I'm sure, will have something to say about that.
Well, she won this title 2 years ago and surprised everybody. She is a young, aggressive skier. Beautiful opening mark of 140. Outstanding. She has really lost some weight this year, got focused, and is always aggressive.
Will that be enough? 136, 130, no. Toni Neville, a jumping champion here at the Masters. Try again, and sure enough, you will win one day. Toni Neville's day is at hand.
Between her and a Masters jump title.
We've seen Nevilles win jumping competitions, but not this Neville right here. Now you're a jumper, not a slalom skier, I guess.
Well, that's the first big win I've ever had, and I mean, I wanted to do it, but deep down inside I didn't know if I could do it, and I just proved to myself and a few others, I guess, that I am capable. But the best part about it is I put a lot of effort into my jumping over the past year, and it's paid off, and it makes it worth it.
Well, Toni, congratulations, and now you can sit back, relax, and enjoy some of the other sights that Callaway Gardens has to offer. Of course, the Masters is just one weekend of the year. The other 360 days, you can come out and be entertained and educated. The bug display is their latest, and now here's Vicki Vessels with more.
The Callaway Gardens Education Department offers daily tours through the greenhouse,
and also includes a behind-the-scenes tour of our production greenhouses. We have actual working greenhouses here at the Sibley Center that grow the plants for the gardens.
Coming up next, spills and thrills. It's men's jumping. Stay with us.
At Correct Craft, the customer commands a lot of respect. That customer needs facts, not hype. We prove every day that a really good product will sell itself, but only if the customer has all the information. We'll show you what we've got and help you compare, and let you make the decision. Because once you get behind the wheel of a Nautique, the selling stops and the performance starts.
Nautiques by Correct Craft, the definition of quality. Call 1-800-346-2092.
Well, some would argue they saved the best for last here at the Masters, and that's the men's jumping competition. As you take a look at the lineup, take a look at what can happen when you hit that ramp at 70 miles an hour.
The downhill racers of water skiing are always pushing the edge, but you have to in order to go far. Speed to the ramp, huge impact on the ramp, and if you're not standing just right, the results are disastrous.
Jaret Llewellyn has certainly felt the pain that comes along with jumping here at the Masters. Jimmy Clunie is our first competitor today. The Canadian cannonball went 192. That will not be good enough, though, to finish in first place here at Callaway Gardens.
Fantastic adjustment, however, he came back, final attempt, 192. Every one of these skiers, including this man on the water, has gone over 200 feet. This man not too long ago set a world record at this very site of 207.
And keep in mind that Jaret Llewellyn is still looking for the overall title as he competes with that man, Steffen Wild. And so Jaret Llewellyn needs to bang one out there to seal up this victory, the overall victory, that is.
Well, he did just that. He had to grind it out, but the 184, his best leap of the day, gives him another overall crown here at the Masters, 3 in all. And this man on the water, Steffen Wild, will now have to refocus on just winning the jumping title.
And that is a terrific opening jump, a 193. It shows the strength that this young man potentially has. Bruce Neville talking it over with his wife, Toni on dock. You know, just for a brief moment there, I thought that was Carl Roberge. He looks an awful lot like Carl. This is Steffen Wild.
And that's not going to do it. His best will be 193. Disappointment for him, but not so for our overall champion.
Rolex is a sponsor of the Masters this year, which is, you know, ideal for the overall winner gets a watch, and no one else puts more time in the event than an overall skier. And I'm very pleased to win it, but I'm also pleased in my other events.
That is a terrific champion, and this is a terrific jumper, Bruce Neville.
Twice a champion here and the current world record holder with a leap of 220 feet. That's going to be hard to accomplish today. The wind perhaps is picked up a little bit, and the skiers are having some difficulty with the tailwind. But right now he is focused on trying to go beyond 193. Toni down the dock is trying to impart the same kind of advice that he gave her in the women's competition.
All right, something about 3/4.
You got all that, Dan?
I think so. Here comes his, this is his final attempt.
Just flying across the wakes, and perhaps a little too much, but a better leap, 198.
And that vaults him into the lead. 198 is now the mark to beat. The final flyer on the water, Carl Roberge. And if there is anybody who can beat this man's leap, it would be the Bear.
Having to try to recover from flying the wakes was just a little too late in standing up to resist the impact of the ramp. We talked about how well this man is jumping, and here's his chance, standing up perfectly, just flying and floating right. That is going to be very, very close. Waiting for the measurements. Roberge 200 feet on his opening attempt.
Let me tell you something, Bruce. We were amazed. When you hit that ramp, we said, does that man do it under pressure or what? A 198 when you had to.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was all messed up there with this cruise control. I really don't know how to approach my jumping, and tried out with the easy approach at first, and then my last one I just said, I'm going to just go and get wide, get late, and muscle it and see if I can get anywhere. And I got somewhere, but I'm not really happy with that, but
Well, you know, everybody's come in saying they can't quite figure everything out there, so do you think it might hold up?
Well, I don't know. You got Roberge coming out now, and he's jumping really well at the moment. And if I put money on it, I'd say I've got a 60% chance of winning.
I'll take those odds. Hey, congratulations.
All right, thanks, mate.
And just like that, Roberge wins the Masters jump title here at the 37th Masters. Look how easy he made this look.
All the elements of this event are just flowing together so nicely for him. His turn, which has always been great, settling in on the edge. Watch how he crosses the wake and then makes that transition to get in the springing position, stands up, skis together, kicks it, slides out a little bit. Didn't quite have the pop, but he carries lots of speed to the base of the ring.
And that jump, that was just for the fans. Roberge is our champion. He has now won 3 jumping titles to go along with his 3 overall titles. Congratulations to Carl.
Bruce goes out just prior to you and nails it when he needs to. What's running through your mind as you go out to start?
Well, Dan, Bruce had a long jump. I felt pretty consistent yesterday in the semifinals, and I just kind of went out to do my own thing and forgot about him. I sure was happy, though, when it was a little further than his was, so.
At the outset of this tournament, many thought there'd be a changing of the guard, but for the most part, what we saw were the old champions coming through once again.
Yeah, I agree, Wayne. And now it's Bo Callaway Jr.'s turn to honor this year's Masters champions.
So it's my pleasure to present the 1996 overall women's champion, Rhoni Barton, the men's overall champion, Jaret Llewellyn.
And now the water skiing world looks forward to next summer, when once again the world's best will gather here at Callaway Gardens for the Masters.
But as you said, Dave, he's got more in him.
Oh, yeah.
He'll bring it down course, he'll kick harder, he'll go farther.
Even if he keeps it the same, it holds his direction through the ramp.
A promotional consideration has been provided by Callaway Gardens Resort. When you want to get away from it all, call Callaway. The 37th Masters has been brought to you by Nautiques by Correct Craft, the world's #1 choice.